I didn't sign up to live with a woman who lounges on my couch all day and calls it helping. Nancy moved in like it was her goddamn birthright. Smiling like it was a joke. Should I go ahead and plan your divorce party? She said, giggling like she was still 20. I wanted to scream. There's only so much you can let slide in the name of being polite. Just because she's Mark's mom doesn't give her a free pass to be deadweight. It's been weeks now. She hasn't lifted a single finger. Not one. I cook. I clean. I work a full-time job from home. And I do it all while stepping over her potato chip crumbs and listening to her snore. In the middle of the day like a damn bear in hibernation. Meanwhile, Mark, he acts like it's not his problem. She's not hurting anyone, he says. No, just my sanity. We just moved into this house, your house in Austin. We saved for years. I put most of my paycheck straight into our savings account, so we could finally qualify for the mortgage. We picked every cabinet, every tile. I was proud. For 5 minutes, before Nancy showed up with her bags, like this was her reward for giving birth 30 years ago. She sold her apartment in Queens and didn't even ask. Just showed up one day with some excuse about getting older and being lonely. I tried to be decent. I bit my tongue. But every day she sits around, barking orders, acting like I'm her damn maid. I'm done. She won't even rinse a dish. That's the wife's job, she said. Excuse me. I finally snapped. I told her flat out, I'm not her servant. If she wants to stay here, she's gonna do her share. You know what she said? With that smug look on her face, is this how you talk to your mother-in-law? Maybe I should help you pack. Like she was the victim. Like I owed her something. I was shaking. I was so mad. But here's the thing. The house, it's under my name. I'll pay the mortgage. My name's on the title deed. Mark and I talked about it before we both agreed. He can't afford 1 month's worth of payments on his own. I cover the loan. His paycheck covers the living expenses. That was the deal. So yeah, I told her to get out. Politely at first. Then not so politely. She yelled. She cried. She tried guilt. Didn't work. Mark finally backed me up. If she's gonna cause problems, he said, she can go. I never loved him more in that moment. And when I closed the door behind her and heard nothing but quiet, I swear it felt like breathing after holding it for months. I thought we were finally getting somewhere. Mark started working more hours since the mortgage kicked in, and I figured I could handle more housework since I was doing remote work. Fair trade, right? I was exhausted. Yeah, but I believed in the whole teamwork thing. Stupid me. Then one day, I got back from Walmart, arms full of groceries, tired as hell. And I see a pair of shoes at the front door that weren't ours. Mark wasn't supposed to be home. My gut told me something was off. I peeked into the living room, and there she was, Nancy, sitting like a queen on the couch, flipping through TV channels like she owned the damn place. I asked what she was doing here. All she said was, "Took you long enough," with that smug little smile that makes my skin crawl. And then she dropped it. I'm moving in. What? No warning, no phone call, no hey, would you mind? Just a suitcase, a blanket, and a pile of entitlement. Said she was tired of living alone in Queens. Said she missed family. Said Mark knew already. Like that made it okay. Like I had no say. At first, I froze. I didn't want to be rude. I thought, maybe she just needs a few nights. Maybe it's temporary. Maybe she'll help out. Wrong. So wrong. She unpacked, took over the guest room, claimed the living room like her throne. Every single day after that, she did nothing. I mean nothing. Slept until noon, demanded lunch, scattered empty potato chip bags everywhere, hugged the TV. And when I hinted that maybe she could help with the dishes, she laughed. That's what daughters-in-law are for, she said. Are you kidding me? Mark kept brushing it off. She's just settling in. She's lonely, don't stress about it. Meanwhile, I'm running on fumes, juggling work calls and laundry while she naps like a damn cat. One night, I sat on the kitchen floor, just staring at a stack of dirty plates. And I realized something. I didn't marry Nancy. I didn't sign up for this. I wasn't gonna be guilt-tripped into servitude in my own house. That's when I snapped. Next morning, I told her flat out, this is not working. You live here, you contribute, or you leave. She looked shocked, like no one had ever told her no before. "I'm your husband's mother," she said. I didn't flinch. "And I'm the one paying the mortgage." Her eyes went wide. "Yeah, the title deed has my name. Mark agreed when we bought the place cover the mortgage. He handles the living expenses." She was stunned. I was done. That was the beginning of the end. And honestly, the most liberating moment of my life. Nancy looked me straight in the face and said, "I'm living here now." Just like that. No warning. No asking. Just decided it was happening. When I asked if she was serious, she nodded like I was the crazy one for questioning her. Said Mark already knew that he'd never say no to her. Like I was supposed to accept that and roll out the red carpet. I texted Mark right away. His reply, "Let's just talk when I get home. No backup. No outrage. Nothing." And then I found out the real kicker: Nancy had already sold her old apartment in Queens. That place was gone. She didn't just visit us. She planned this. Moved in permanently without a single conversation. Like she was entitled to my house, my space, my life. And so, just like that, I was living with my mother-in-law. I didn't ask for it. I didn't agree to it. But suddenly she was there, taking up space, using our stuff, ignoring boundaries. She'd wake up around noon, wander into the kitchen, look at me dead in the eye and say, "What's for lunch?" Not even a good morning, just demands. Then she'd park herself on the couch with a bag of potato chips, watch daytime TV, nap, and repeat. Meanwhile, I was working from home, juggling meetings, deadlines, and housework. She snored on the other end of the couch like a damn bulldozer. It wasn't just the laziness, it was the attitude. One afternoon, while I was folding laundry and cooking at the same time, I asked if she could help with the dishes. Just a little. You know what she said? "You're the wife. You're supposed to take care of us." U.S. What us? I married Mark, not both of them. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw that damn dish towel in her face. But instead, I just walked away. Tried to keep the peace. I kept telling myself this wasn't permanent. That Mark would do something. That this would blow over. It didn't. Every single day it was the same cycle. I ran around doing everything while she lounged and acted like I was the hired help. She wouldn't even rinse her own coffee mug. Didn't touch a vacuum. Didn't make her bed. And Mark, completely checked out. I told him I couldn't take it anymore. He just sighed. Said she's harmless. Said I was overreacting. Easy for him to say. He was barely home. At some point, I stopped being mad at her and started being mad at myself. For allowing it. For not setting boundaries. For not throwing her out the second she showed up with her smug little smile and her suitcase. But that was going to change. Fast. Mark told me to just let it go. "She's not hurting anyone," he said. "Just ignore her." Easy for him to say. He's never home. He doesn't see what I see. Doesn't hear her sigh loudly from the couch every time I pass by like I'm somehow bothering her lazy little peace bubble. Nancy thinks she's royalty. She honestly believes she's doing nothing wrong. Maybe because Mark won't speak up. Maybe because she's used to getting away with everything. In her mind, she's the mother, the elder, the queen of this suburban house in Austin. And I'm just the staff. She once said straight-faced, "I'm Mark's mother. It's only natural I relax in his house." I wanted to scream, "Lady, it's my house. My name is on the title deed. I pay the mortgage." But I didn't. Not then. I was still biting my tongue, trying to be the good one, the patient one, the one who doesn't start drama. But it got worse. Every single day it was the same damn thing. I was working from home, scrambling between Zoom calls and dinner prep, trying to keep this house from falling apart. Meanwhile, Nancy's draped over the couch in a bathrobe at 2 p.m., watching dumb reality shows. Crumbs everywhere, her hand always in a damn bag of potato chips. One day, I was rushing around the house, answering work emails and folding laundry. And she yelled from the living room, "Rachel, we're out of chips. Can you run to Walmart?" Like I'm her personal shopper. Like I have nothing better to do. I lost it. I walked straight into that living room and said, "Nancy, enough. You do nothing all day while Mark and I work our asses off to pay for everything. And now you're barking snack orders like this is your retirement resort. Don't you feel ashamed even a little?" She looked stunned, like no one had ever talked to her like that before. Then she got defensive, said I was being disrespectful, that she's family, that I should be grateful to serve. Serve? I don't owe her a damn thing. She doesn't pay a cent in living expenses, doesn't help with chores, doesn't even put her own dishes in the sink. And Mark just shrugs it off, too tired to deal. That was the day something flipped inside me. I realized no one was going to save me from this. Not Mark, not keeping the peace, not patience. It was on me. Either I keep living like this resentful, exhausted, invisibly, or I end it. And guess what? I chose me. I snapped, finally said it out loud. Nancy, this lazy act has gone far enough. You do nothing. Mark and I are working ourselves into the ground, and you're here napping and eating chips like this is a damn cruise. And for a split second, I regretted it. My brain panic head, was that too far? Did I just lose control? I tried to pull it back, to soften it, but nothing came out. Words failed. My mouth opened, and silence came out. And you know what Nancy did? She laughed, not just a chuckly aloud, smug cackle like she'd just watched her favorite soap opera twist come true. And then she looked me dead in the face and said, "So this is how you talk to your husband's mother? Maybe I should help you pack." What the hell? Was that a threat? A power move? She really thought she could manipulate her way into control. Like if I didn't keep bowing down, she'd blow up the entire family dynamic. Classic emotional blackmail. I stared at her, stunned. "Why are you doing this?" I asked. "Why is it so hard for you to act like a part of this family? I'm not asking for much, just some basic help, some respect." She finally stopped smirking. Her face dropped, like maybe she realized I wasn't playing anymore. Like maybe she saw the line I had just drawn in permanent ink. And I'd had enough. I was done pretending this woman was some kind of victim. She was a leech, sucked every bit of energy and patience from me and gave nothing back. Not help, not kindness, not even a damn thank you. I told her flat out, calm but firm, "You're not family to me if all you do is take and disrespect. I'm not your maid. I'm not your babysitter. I'm not your punching bag. You either step up or get out." That rattled her. I could see it. She got quiet. The smugness faded. She looked nervous for once, eyes darting around like she was trying to come up with a way to spin it. But I wasn't budging. Then she said, "Well, I guess I have options too." And I hit her with it. "Not in this house, you don't. You're not welcome here anymore." Boom. Silence. She went pale. The kind of pale that comes when you realize you've pushed the wrong person too far. I could see it thought I'd never stand up, thought I'd always bite my tongue. But I meant every word. This wasn't some bluff. This was it. I wasn't going to keep breaking my back for someone who saw me as less. This was my house, my mortgage, my sanity, and I wasn't going to lose all three for a woman who couldn't even wash a dish. So I told her again, clearly, "Pack your things, Nancy. You're done here." And I turned and walked away. For once, I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. I looked her dead in the eye and said it, "Nancy, this isn't your home. You need to leave." I even smiled when I said it. Calm, controlled, but make no mistake, he meant every damn word. Her face turned beet red. She jumped up off the couch like I'd just insulted the queen. "You don't have the right to say that," she snapped. "This is my son's house. You don't get to make that decision without him." Of course that's how she reacted. Of course she played the "he's my baby" card. But I was ready for it. I told her, real clear, real slow, "Actually, Nancy, I do have the right. The title deed. It's in my name." Her jaw dropped. She blinked like she didn't understand English. Then she gasped like it physically hurt her to hear the truth. I laid it all out. When we bought this place, Mark and I sat down and planned everything. His paycheck couldn't even cover 1 month's worth of mortgage payments. So I took out the mortgage loan. I pay it every month from my income. Mark uses his paycheck for the living expenses. That was the deal. He agreed. So legally and financially, this is my house. She didn't say a word. For once. And I wasn't done. "I'm not saying you're the worst person alive. I'm saying you've made living here unbearable. You don't help. You don't contribute. You've turned this home into a war zone of entitlement and laziness. And I'm done." I think that's when it hit her. That smile I always faked. Gone. That silence I used to hold on to. Gone. I'd had enough. More than enough. And I wasn't asking anymore. I was telling. She tried one more move. Mark won't allow this. He'll never agree. Wrong again. He already did, I told her. He told me if it came to this, I could do whatever I needed to do. He's tired too, Nancy. Just because he doesn't scream it in your face doesn't mean he's okay with you freeloading here. Her whole expression shifted. From rage to fear. From smug to shook. Like she'd finally realized this wasn't some soap opera where the evil daughter-in-law gets kicked out. She was the problem, and I wasn't afraid of her anymore. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I just said it again, calmly. You're no longer welcome here. Pack your things. And I walked out of the room like I was walking out of years of holding back. Because I was done bending. Done breaking. Done pretending I owed her anything. This is my house. And I was taking it back. She stood in the middle of the living room with her arms crossed. Face twisted up like she was the one being wronged. That's ridiculous, she snapped. You can't just kick me out. This is your husband's house too. You two should decide together. Mark will never agree. He's a good son. He loves his mother. God, I wanted to laugh. She still didn't get it. She really thought she could guilt her way through everything, just like always. But this time, no. I wasn't backing down. Nancy, we did talk, I said. Mark knows. Mark agreed. This isn't some let me ask my husband moment. This is my house. And I'm telling you, enough is enough. And of course she doubled down. She wasn't planning to leave. Why would she? Her apartment in Queens was already sold. She'd burned her bridge and walked into mine, thinking she could plant herself on my couch and stay there forever, like I owed her something. But I wasn't going to bend. I stood my ground. If you're not willing to help around here, if you're not willing to live like part of this family, you can't stay. I'm not going to carry the whole weight while you nap, eat potato chips, and whine when you're asked to rinse a damn dish. That's when she cracked. Her whole attitude shifted. Suddenly she was wiping her eyes like a toddler, voice shaking. I didn't mean for this to happen. Don't be so cruel. Why are you treating me this way? Seriously. She acted like I hadn't spent months trying to be civil. Like I hadn't begged her to help out. Like I hadn't picked up after her, cleaned her dishes, and smiled through clenched teeth. Now I was the villain because I finally said no. I told her straight, you're not a child. You're not helpless. You just refuse to help. You don't pay for anything. You don't do anything. You chose this. So don't you dare act surprised when it blows up in your face. And then she did it, sat on the floor and sobbed. Full-on meltdown. Like she thought she could cry her way out of this. I didn't flinch. By the time Mark walked through the front door, she was in full performance mode. Tears everywhere, voice high-pitched and shaky. She's being mean to me. She wants to throw me out. Mark froze, looked at me, then looked at her. I laid it all out. Calm, clear. I explained everything. He didn't yell. He didn't defend her. He just closed his eyes, let out this deep, tired sigh, and said, I can't deal with this anymore. If you're going to keep causing problems, Mom, maybe it's time you found somewhere else to stay. Boom. And just like that, her face fell apart, because for once in her life, even Mark wasn't going to protect her from herself. She ran to him, like she always did, tears in her eyes, voice trembling, like she was some poor little old lady who'd been bullied. Mark, she's being awful to me. I'm trying my best. I didn't mean to cause problems. I watched from the hallway. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. I'd already laid it all out. Every detail, every moment of her laziness, the constant disrespect, the refusal to lift a single finger. He knew. And Mark, he sighed. That long, tired sigh I'd heard 100 times. The one that said I'm so done with this without even needing words. Then he said it. Mom, I didn't want this to get ugly. I let things go because I thought we could manage. But if you're going to stir up this much drama, you can't stay. I'm too exhausted from work to deal with chaos at home too. Boom. There it was. The final nail. Nancy froze, like she couldn't process the fact that her precious son had just told her to leave. Her face fell apart in real time. First disbelief, then anger, then panic. She stammered, Mark, I'm your mother. And I love you, he said. But I also need peace. And this house? It hasn't had any since you moved in. She looked like she'd been slapped. For the first time since she barged into our lives, she didn't have a comeback. Not one. And Mark didn't soften. He didn't coddle her. He just stood there, arms crossed, jaw tight. His voice was calm, but firm. You said you didn't want to cause trouble. Well, here we are. We've reached the limit. She tried one more time. You don't have to say it like that, she whimpered. You're making me sound like a burden. Mark just looked at her and said, Mom, you are. That crushed her. She stood there shaking, eyes darting between us, trying to find any last shred of sympathy. There wasn't any. Not anymore. She had drained both of us dry. She had treated my home like a hotel and me like the maid. And now the free ride was over. Mark and I locked eyes, and without a word, we both knew this was it. This was the decision we needed to make, together. No more guilt. No more hesitation. He turned back to her and said it clear. You need to go. Today. Her knees almost buckled. But I didn't move to catch her. Neither did Mark. Because when someone chooses to bring tension into a home, refuses to be accountable, and drains everyone around them, they don't get to cry their way into staying. They pack, and they go. I swear, I tried. I really did. When Nancy moved into our suburban house in Austin, I told myself to be patient. She was Mark's mom. She just sold her old apartment in Queens. I figured we'd adjust. I cooked, I cleaned. I even brewed her iced tea every damn afternoon. Did she ever say thank you? Not once. Instead, she picked apart everything I did. How I folded laundry, how I seasoned dinner, even how I talked to Mark. At first, I just let it go. Grit my teeth, smiled through it. But then came the comments. Back in my day, women didn't leave dishes in the sink. Mark likes his shirts ironed, not steamed. Like I was her maid, not her daughter-in-law. And when I asked her, politely, if she could maybe help with the living expenses since she was living rent-free, she acted like I'd just insulted her whole bloodline. One day, I came home from my part-time job at Target Texhausted, sweaty, and she was sitting on the couch, eating potato chips, watching some god-awful soap opera. The kitchen was a mess. Mark's shirts were still in the dryer. I asked her if she could maybe help out while I was gone. You know what she said? I'm the guest. That's your job. I snapped. The next week, it got worse. She picked a fight at dinner in front of Mark, accusing me of trying to replace her, like I was competing with her for my own husband. I had enough. I asked her calmly, Againto, please respect our space. She cried. Loud, fake sobs like she was on cue. Mark tried to comfort her while I went straight to the guest room and packed her things. One suitcase, her damn travel mug, the worn slippers she dragged around the hardwood floor all day. I took a deep breath, walked up to her, and said, Nancy, it's time. There's no space for you here anymore. She turned beet red, screamed that I was disrespectful, tried to block the doorway, but I held firm. I opened the front door, and yes, I kicked her out. Right then, 10:47 p.m. I wasn't stupid, an old woman alone at night. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. So I had Mark call Aunt Carol in Nebraska. She agreed to take her in. You'd think I'd feel bad. I didn't. Maybe a little guilt for a second. But you know what? Peace of mind is worth more than guilt. If Nancy had just lifted a finger when I asked for help, even once, it wouldn't have come to this. Now she's in Aunt Carol's ranch house, scrubbing toilets and peeling potatoes. Carol doesn't take crap from anyone. I heard she told Nancy, you don't work, you don't eat. About time someone said it. Lazy, toxic people don't deserve to destroy a home. I protected mine, and I'd do it again. You'd think after everything that happened, she'd stay away. I prayed she'd stay away. Nancy had been with Aunt Carol in Nebraska for a few months. Last I heard, she was scrubbing floors and peeling potatoes just to earn her keep. Honestly, I thought that was the end of it. Then Mark and I both got sent out of town for work. Total coincidence, he had a tech conference in Denver, and I had to visit a vendor site out near Phoenix. We figured a few days away wouldn't hurt. Locked everything up, set the alarm, told the neighbors to keep an eye out. Nothing fancy, just routine. I got home first, dropped my bag, walked up the porch, and right away, something felt off. The air was weird. I looked over, front window smashed, glass all over the porch. I froze. My stomach dropped. I called 911, shaking, barely able to get words out. The cops came, took pictures, looked around. Nothing stolen, just the damn window. Almost like someone wanted to hurt the house, not take anything. A couple days later, they got footage from the neighbor's security camera. Guess who it was? Nancy. She had run off. Couldn't handle Aunt Carol's rules. No sitting around. No potato chips on the couch. She bailed, and instead of calling anyone, she showed up in Austin like some horror movie villain. Broke the damn window like that would prove something. When Mark found out, he lost it. I'd never seen him that angry. Not even during the worst fights. He didn't even hesitate. Filed a claim for property damage the next morning. Said, "I don't care if she's my mother, she pays for this." He didn't stop there. Called Aunt Carol. Made sure she didn't cover for Nancy. Said flat out, make her earn it, and Carol agreed. So yeah, now Nancy's working a part-time job at Target, bagging groceries, stocking shelves, all because she smashed a window like a teenager throwing a tantrum. And the best part? A week later, I get this call from a number I don't recognize. Straight to voicemail. "Rachel, please, help me. I can't do this. I hate this life." I laughed. Out loud. Right there in the kitchen. Where was that voice when I asked her to help with laundry? Or when she sat on her ass watching reruns while I pulled double shifts to help cover the mortgage? She thought she could throw a rock through my piece and come crawling back? No, not happening. She made her bed. Now she can work retail in it. I don't owe her anything. Not a ride. Not a dollar. Not a damn ounce of sympathy. The call came from a number I didn't recognize. I picked it up without thinking. It was Nancy. Did she say hi? Sorry. How are you? Nope. Just jumped straight in with a half-crying voice begging for help. Said she couldn't take it anymore. Said we should start over. Said she missed us. I stood there in my kitchen, holding the phone like it was poison. I couldn't even feel mad right away. Just numb. This woman had smashed our window, humiliated me, torn our home apart like it was hers to destroy. And now she wanted sympathy? I told her straight, "I'm sorry, but you planted this mess. You clean it up." She flipped, called me heartless, said I was cruel, screamed through the phone like I owed her something. I didn't say another word, just hung up and blocked the number. I wasn't going back. Not again. Later, Mark told me the rest. Turns out, after the whole window-breaking drama, Aunt Carol gave Nancy one last chance. And Nancy blew it. She was rude, arrogant, ungrateful, wouldn't lift a finger round the ranch house, complained nonstop, treated Carol like a servant. So Carol kicked her out. And since no one else wanted to deal with her anymore, they put her in an assisted living facility down in Florida. Oh, she fought it. Said she'd never go to one of those places, but she had no choice. Nobody wanted her, not after the way she acted. And honestly, good. Let someone trained handle her. Let professionals deal with her whining and laziness. I'm done being the emotional punching bag just because I married her son. Since she's been gone, really gone, our home finally feels like our home. No more weird tension. No more biting comments from the living room. No more feeling like I have to tiptoe in my own kitchen. Mark and I started inviting people over again. We had Susan and Tom, my parents, come for dinner last weekend. They brought flowers, told us the house looked beautiful. Susan helped set the table. Tom offered to take out the trash without me saying a word. Real guests, real kindness, no power games, no drama. You know what I realized? Blood doesn't mean loyalty. It doesn't mean respect. Nancy treated Mark like a backup husband and me like a threat. That's not family. That's emotional warfare. I used to blame myself for not trying harder, for not being more patient. Screw that. I bent until I snapped. I have nothing left for her. I'm done. She can eat canned green beans in a Florida facility all she wants. Meanwhile, I'm going to sit on my couch with my iced tea in my peaceful home and not think about her ever again. After everything with Nancy, I didn't know what to expect when my parents came to visit. But the second Susan and Tom stepped inside our suburban house in Austin, they smiled. Genuinely smiled. Susan walked in with a homemade pie. Tom gave Mark a pat on the back and said, "Nice place, son, no judgment." No snide remarks. No weird power games. Susan even asked if she could help pour the iced tea. Like, actually offered to help. Not just sit there and bark orders from the couch like Nancy used to. They didn't treat me like a maid, or like I owed them something for being born. They complimented the curtains I picked out, said the kitchen backsplash was beautiful. Tom even noticed the yard work and asked if Mark had done it himself. I caught Mark watching all of it, the smiles, the calm, like he couldn't believe it was real. I think it hit him then, hard, how twisted things had been with Nancy. He's close with my parents now. I see it. He jokes with Tom. He actually laughs. And he told me the other day he started reading up on elder care, not because anyone asked him to, but because he wants to be ready if Susan or Tom ever need help. That is family. We've been through hell this past year. Between Nancy moving in, wrecking our peace, manipulating Mark, refusing to help, and even smashing our window like a child throwing a fit, it was non-stop chaos. I didn't know if we'd survive it. There were nights I sat in the garage, doors shut, lights off, just trying not to scream. But she's gone, and we're still here. We made it through, and now this house finally feels like a home. I walk into the kitchen and no one's criticizing how I cut the carrots. I fold the laundry and no one's fixing it behind me. I sit on the couch and actually breathe without the weight of someone watching and judging every move. I know life's not done testing us. We'll probably hit more bumps down the road, bills, work stress, maybe even something worse. But I'm not scared anymore. Not of conflict, not of boundaries, and sure as hell not of standing up for myself. Because now I know what peace looks like. It looks like Susan wiping the counter without being asked. Tom offering to fix a broken chair. Mark laughing from the other room. No tension, no guilt, just a quiet evening, some iced tea, and a family that actually gives a damn about each other. That's the life I'm building now. In my house, with people who respect it. And I'm not letting anyone ruin that again.